Coldplay, The Scientist. Have you seen the video of that?
Great, it's just brilliant.
I think I might have worked out. What is, he's walking backwards, it's all filmed backwards, but he's singing forward. Now, the only way I can work out they've done it, without CGI in it and cheating with the lips, is that he had to learn it backwards and did it sort of like bit by bit. Did he do that?
He was on Zoe's show like about a week ago or something, and
so
he sang it backwards.
So he learned phrases and they filmed that.
Yeah.
But he didn't learn the whole song, did he? He couldn't possibly have learned the whole song. He must have like stopped it and...
Don't know.
It's a great video though. They always do a good video.
No, it's very good indeed.
So it was, yeah, The Scientist on XFM. Wonderful one. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
I had a bit of good news this morning.
Go on.
I was on the tube coming down, and I don't want to sound arrogant, I don't want to sound pushy, but I was at Green Park, and I'm fairly certain, Rick, it's not 100% corroborated, I'm fairly certain that a woman pinched my arse. So what do you think of that? Yes.
There's a lot of pickpockets around Green Park.
No, my wallet was still there.
Really?
But even if it wasn't, you know, that would have been money well spent. But the wallet was still there, so what do you think of them apples? Eh?
So what did you just pinch off?
I can't confirm it at this stage, exactly what happened, but it certainly felt like a pinch. I looked round, there was a woman behind me.
Right.
She was fairly old. I think she's probably in her mid-30s.
Right.
Kind of reddish hair.
Right.
I don't know if she's listening.
Right.
But, she knows where I am. And, so I don't know how to proceed, really, Rick. I don't know if it's worth putting up some posters around the Green Park area.
Well, what you could
just to try and corroborate it. If you saw a woman pinch the lanky guy's arse,
you could probably get in, contact with British Rail and go back over their
CCTV cameras, yeah.
And then they could probably zoom in and, you know, sort of identify and got birthmarks, or she might have been holding something.
Then I could hire a private eye. Yeah. Again, money well spent.
Well, so there you go.
You know, I'm just saying maybe maybe things are looking up.
Things
it's getting towards Christmas.
The worm has turned.
I mean, you know, it's a little, sexy story to get the show going.
It is
but what do you make of that then, Carl?
What do you think of that,
you're quite damning. What's your answer?
Well, I mean, you're quite a tall fella.
Sure.
So, she must have really wanted to sort of reach up and have a pinch.
Do you know what you think
she was a dwarf?
She did it with her teeth.
He didn't say she was a dwarf.
No, but Steve's taller than, you know, his arse.
Yeah, but his arse isn't 6'9", is it? His arse is about 3 foot off the floor.
4 foot?
What?
4 foot off the floor?
No, I don't think so. About 3. She'd have to be a midget to have to reach up to pinch Steve's arse. He is very tall, but...
I don't know what your point is there, Carl. You're just trying to, you're just, I think maybe just a little bit jealous. Just a little bit of jealousy.
Well, do you know what happened to me on the way in?
Go on.
A homeless person called me a dickhead.
How did he know? Do you know him? Is that why?
He's like the local big issue fella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows me, he sees me walking up and down the street.
Oh, that's how he knew you.
Right. So normally I have a bit of a chat with him and that. And I walk past him. And, you know, I can be a little bit cheeky with him, because I've been cheeky with him in the past with stuff.
You pinched his arse?
No, just, you know, saying stuff like, God, you're always there, I mean, you got home to go to, and stuff like that.
Yeah, just breaking the ice, go on.
He knows, and he laughed at that, right, last time, so I thought I can be a bit cheeky, right? So he goes, do you want a big issue? I said, no. He said, come on, I've got loads of them, right? So I sort of said, oh, when I was a kid, and I used to do a free paper around the free papers one. I said, just put them in the bin and go home. Right? And he went, yeah, but how am I going to get any money doing that, you dickhead?
You see, I can see his point. He is homeless and having to sell newspapers to get 50p or a quid or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes I treat him, right? And today I didn't have any money. I had a takeaway last night, and I normally give them a quid, and I felt bad not being able to do that because I didn't have any money on me last night.
Right.
I couldn't look him in the eye.
Did you explain this to the homeless person, the traumas of the takeaway without the tip? Did you explain that, you know, you've had it hard as well? I go, look, you don't
I had food delivered to my warm flat.
Yeah,
it was a nightmare.
You don't know what that's like. You don't know what the trauma is because you can't have food delivered to your flat because you haven't got one. So please don't look at me like that. You should have said.
But most people ignore him. At least I gave him a bit of acknowledgement and sort of...
took the mick.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. I just was being friendly.
No, I know.
You gotta be careful with the homeless, because this is true, and this is, you know when the clocks went back recently, so you got an extra hour in bed?
Yeah.
And, I was at Cash Point with a friend of mine, and there was a homeless person sat by the Cash Point, and, you know, we would get some money out, and she said, spare some change, and my friend's, he's a bit awkward, he's just trying to make conversation with her, he went, clocks go back. Extra hour in bed.
Oh no.
I gave her £2. I felt so bad. He didn't do it intentionally. He didn't realise what he'd said. Just making conversation.
Bumbling.
It's tricky making conversation with the homeless, because there's so many areas you've got to avoid. You know, what was on the telly.
Yeah.
You know.
Although I get recognised by homeless people and think, are they? I don't know where.
Well, you got to remember that's very much your demographic, Rick.
Yeah.
You know, people who watch TV through the window of Dixon's.
Yeah, in Dixon's. Yeah, there was a Ricky Gervais as well.
Yeah. Well, they can smell the alcohol on you. They think you're one of them.
I've had to cut down on that. I've been really good with this training thing.
The boxing.
Play a record and I'll tell you about it. I had my first week of training. I'm in trouble. I'm struggling.
What do you want to play?
Oh, we've got a bit of, have we? Stone Roses, classic.
Feeder, Come Back Around, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Alright? Yeah, so I had my first week of training for this, charity boxing. For those who don't know, I'm fighting Grant Bovey, Anthea Turner's husband. It sounds arbitrary, but it's actually because he's, at 41 and about my weight, a bit taller, I think. But, and we've never done it before, but, no, it'd be fun. Battling someone for charity.
Yes.
No, but, it's, and I can't believe my luck, because I've been a fight fan for like 30 years, and they took me shopping, they bought me all the gear, and the training's great. It's really hard. I mean, it's, I imagine it'd be really hard, and it's probably slightly harder than I imagined. And the only bit I like, so I don't like all the exercise and all the stuff you've got to do. I like the bits that look a bit like something I've seen in a Rocky film.
Right, sure.
You know, we did that thing with the string along the ring, and I have to pop up and punch, and that.
Right.
That was great.
Right, nice.
Skipping's not bad. I'm trying to get good at that. I like that ball that you go.
Are you any good at that? Is that
I'm getting good at it.
And
What's
that teaching you, that particular thing? It's just the rhythm, is it?
It's rhythm, and of course your arms are up for that long, so you've got to keep your guard up all the time.
Yeah.
So that teaches you to keep your arms up.
And you were up at 6 this morning, you broke some raw eggs into a cup, and then you ran up the steps of the town hall, didn't you? I know.
With loads of people following me, and I shouted, "Bovey!" at the top. No, I'm not going mad. Just you know, once every other day. But I'm struggling now. I woke up today and it's like I'd been hit by a car.
Yeah. Just
everything aches, so the muscles you haven't used. But, anyway, I had a meeting, the first time with the people, the program makers, because they're following me for a month and everything, and Grant as well. And they said, you need a sort of nickname, just for a laugh. And I went, what's Grant using? They said, I think it's gonna use Gorgeous Grant Bovey, or Grant. I went, I don't know, so I better go against that. What about, Ricky Jippo Gervais?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, anyway, I had a freedom with Frank Maloney meeting the next day, and it's sort of you know, you've got to do this nickname, and the bloke said, I checked out that name, you can't call yourself Jip. I went, well, of course I can't. I was joking. He went, well, I said, well, it's racist. I was joking. I was making a joke about me, and then we went, I don't know. And then I went down to get the buy all the gear from this shop.
They'd have the dressing gown made?
Yeah. And I was picking all the stuff, I was going, look, that's like Naz wore. Oh, look, that's like Ali wore and I'm going, I'll have that, picking all the gear and everything. And there was a couple of boxers down there sort of like looking at me thinking, who's that fat bloke taking up boxing at 40? And I said who I was, and the bloke went, oh yeah, how you doing? I went, oh yeah, so how long have you been in the game? He said, I've been boxing 20 years. So how many fights you had? He said, about 40. And I said, oh yeah, help me, I've got to think of a nickname. And I thought, Ricky Balboa Gervais. He went, right. I went, or Ricky Marciano Gervais. He looked at me and went, what about Ricky Martin? Oh dear.
Absolutely justified.
Yeah, I'm not respected yet in the boxing world.
No, sure.
But I mean,
it's only a matter of time. Once they see you fight, Rick, everything's gonna change. So, have you actually punched anyone yet? Have you actually?
No, I haven't punched person. I punched pads, and I punched the bag, and I've sort of sparred and that.
I know you're gonna get a chance to punch.
Well, as I suspected, my punching power's alright, but my fitness is, I mean, it felt like I was smoking.
Yeah.
You know, but there's you know, bits of lung that haven't had oxygen in them for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And also because it's not only it's being filmed, but there's the other fighters there that are ridiculous. They're like machines, right? And it's that thing. I can go right. I can come out on top, but die now of a heart attack, but never give up. Or I can sit down and go, I'm sorry, I feel ill. And I chose that one, and of course they took the mick.
Well, of course.
But I mean, you know, soon, you know, as I said, I haven't got the respect yet of the boxing fraternity, but
And how long have you got then before?
4 weeks.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
and do they think that they can turn you around health-wise in that time?
No,
Or
they're
you
being
gonna be coming out on a
realistic.
Zimmer
No,
flame
they're gonna,
during the
you know, they're gonna teach me the basics and see how it goes, you know.
Right.
But I mean, you know,
And
I'm
each
sure-
round is 4 seconds, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, 2 4-second rounds.
with a 2-hour break in between each one. A sit-down meal.
So, give the number. I want serious suggestions of my fighting name. Nothing insulting. Something we can actually use.
Well, let's give out
on
the email.
BBC.
That's always the easiest.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. What's the number, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
And it doesn't have to be in the middle. It could be at the beginning, like the Rage.
Okay,
Ricky the Rage.
Ricky the
Gervais.
Tits. Sure.
Ricky the Man. Play a record.
What would happen? Right, here's another question. This is one that I chuck out to kids as well. We were talking about education, teaching kids stuff.
Sure.
What would happen, right? We ruin this world, right? Goes wrong and that, right? They shut it down. They go, we're moving. We go to another planet.
It's as simple as that in his world. It's as simple as that.
We can't go to Mars because it's full of stuff that used to be in Dixon's.
It's like a tip.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So we can't go there. We go somewhere else.
Something that I've always wondered about, if we do that, do we start New Year's or do we carry on? What do you know what I mean? Do we say, oh, it's still 2006, or do we go, it's world new, whatever, new world?
That is definitely the first priority.
It's year one, right? We've sorted that out, right now.
Well, it depends, doesn't it?
Once
Because a year might not be the same on this planet.
we'd sort that out, right? We'd sort out what year it is and that.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, we'd have to start again anyway, because the planet might not take 1 year as we know it to go around the sun. It might not take a day to turn. A day is a day because that's how long it takes. For
But we'd have to carry on as we know, because we don't want to start doing longer days and that. Otherwise, they'll just kick off and say, "This is rubbish. This new world. What are you doing?"
No,
I'm doing a 28-hour day.
We wouldn't have a choice. A day is how long it takes the planet to turn, and a year is how long it takes that planet to go around the sun.
But a day is man-made, really. There's places in the world where they're working in the dark, isn't they, in Iceland and that? But they don't go, well, it's dark all the time, so I'll stay in bed.
Well, no, but there's still a day. It's still 24 hours in a day in Iceland.
Yeah, but we only work by that clock because that's what people use at the moment when they go, what time is it? You go, it's 20 past 11.
No. We use that because that's how long it takes the planet we're on to
I've never worried about it like that. I've just always
Well,
gone,
no, I'm telling you,
Well, that's because you weren't asked to get involved when they came up with the idea.
I'm telling you, that's what a day is. It's how long it takes your planet to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? The way that what?
No, I'm just saying that's fine and everything. But if when I was born, people said there's 26 hours in a day, I'd go, fair enough. I'm not going to argue.
We could have made up how long an hour is. Yeah, we could have made hours shorter and get 26
Well,
in.
they're saying they're going to do that. Because,
no, they're not.
No, they are, because
No,
there's
they're
so
not.
many people in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before. They've got to create more jobs. The only way to have more jobs, keep shops open, take on more people. Everyone's happy.
That makes no sense at all.
Right. Say if there's 28 hours in a day.
Yeah, it'd still be 24 hours long as we used to know it.
No, you'd have like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 past 25 or whatever.
Well, you're not making any sense at all.
No, I'm just saying.
The Earth would still take 24 hours as we know it now.
Forget it.
Hang on a minute. I want. There's more interesting territory here.
Don't forget, our sleep patterns have evolved on a day. The reason we sort of like go to sleep at night and have about 8 to 10 hours sleep is because that's our evolution.
No, but that's only, that's just because that's what we've got used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at a sloth, that's asleep all the time. It's doing what it
but
wants.
it evolved differently, didn't it?
Right, you can't get away. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you want to live now, join in with us.
Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Carl's diary. You didn't actually explain what it was. Sunday, got up. Sunny day, so went for a walk in the park. There was a bloke walking down the street who was whistling some kind of annoying tune. He seemed quite happy with himself. Do people only whistle when they're happy? I don't whistle very much.
It's a good point. Whistling is so inane to me. But yeah, it's sort of like going, I'm content, it really is that thing that if they go, you go, well,
Mr. Mellors, I'm afraid, I've got some bad news. Not only has your wife died, but you've lost the house. Thanks, Doctor.
Wouldn't happen, would it?
No, you don't whistle when
yeah.
you're sad. The other place you hear it, of course, is changing rooms. And that's men going, I'm whistling, so I'm not looking at your cock. How could I be? I'm concentrating on whistling.
The lake was frozen over where I was walking. The ducks looked worried. They were sat on the edge of the lake waiting for it to melt. Were they, Carl?
Yeah, we just sat there looking, sort of going, oh, what's going on? I don't know. How long is a duck's memory? Because I wondered whether they're going, this doesn't seem right, but I don't know why.
I asked Suzanne why ducks don't use their wings much. They seem to walk and swim more and don't bother using their wings. Suzanne said she had to call her mum and dad, so I never got an answer.
The old excuse. Yeah. Suzanne, I can't talk now, Carl.
Could have phoned my mum. There was a marathon-type run going on in the park. It reminded me of the time when we were moving flat. It was the day of the London Marathon. Me and Suzanne were walking down the middle of the road taking some stuff to our new flat. I was carrying a lamp and a kitchen bin. People were clapping me, thinking I was doing some kind of fun run.
Why were you walking on the same route?
Because it was when we lived on the Docklands.
Oh, brilliant.
There was no other route. The flat was just about 100 yards down the road.
They're going, look at the bloke with the bald wig. He's carrying a lamp and a bin.
Took a bag of old clothes to Oxfam. It was just old T-shirts and a couple of jumpers with holes in it. I don't think anyone will buy them. But the Oxfam is closer to the flat than the wheelie bin is. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers, like, going down that street as a kid on his bike, whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, that's weird. Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
Well, it's impossible, it's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time,
not even that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah, it's
just
something
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang, or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze.
Oh, well, it's that time now. Yeah? It's the big one.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right, there was this
Monkey?
this fella, right, who he had a problem with his eyes, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctors and he goes, I've got a problem with my eyes. And he goes, yeah, they're bad then, right? He goes, it was in America, you know, like how you have to pay for medical stuff and all that. And the doctor said, oh, if I fix them, it's going to be like 10 grand, right? He's like, but I haven't got the money, doctor. He goes, well, I can't help you then. You know, there's a lot of people with bad eyes like them. Can't do anything for you. So he goes, oh, it's getting worse. I can't do anything. So anyway, so he goes home.
Is that the price of human eyes, is it?
So he goes home, he's looking in the paper, right? And he sort of sees in the adverts at the back. And there's a little advert there saying cheap doctors, right?
No, bollocks.
Oh, no.
No.
So he's thinking, oh, maybe that's what I need, right? So he calls them up. Woman's there. She's like, wait, what can I do? He goes, I've got bad eyes and that. She says, oh, come in tomorrow, we'll sort them out. She's like, brilliant, I'll see you then. Right? So he goes down there and he says, right, you know, I can hardly see. My eyes have got in really bad state and what have you.
Right.
Need to have them sorted out. I don't know what you do. Whatever you do, I need
Now,
doing.
his eyes are so bad, can he see the doctors? He can...
Not really,
Can't
sort
really
of
see
squinting
squinting.
and that, but, you know, so he's like, do I need to see the doctor to you know, have a word and tell them what problems? She's like, no, don't worry about that. Just,
I'd be comfortable if it's a
just you know, just let me inject you, and we'll knock you out, and we'll get on with it. And it's like,
get the
well,
doctor in.
Can I just tell you something about chimps as well, just before you continue?
Go on.
You know, they don't have opposable thumbs.
Now,
which is
why
what-
are opposable thumbs useful? Rick?
Well, to grip something, to do anything like, you know, even simple stuff like writing, so let alone surgery. So without an
But
opposable
can I just check
thumb-
now?
Go on.
So if I was a doctor and I was doing any form of difficult surgery, would I need opposable thumbs?
You'd need opposable thumbs
To be a doctor,
and without
eventually.
you couldn't do anything. You
Th-
couldn't.
thanks for clearing that up.
Because the opposable thumb allowed something in our evolution called the precision grip.
Right.
So without that, you couldn't do anything.
I'm just glad they've got that cleared up, thanks.
So anyway, so he's had the injection, he's nodding off and what have you, right? His eyes are sort of closing and that, he hears the door open, he sort of just sees this little fella coming in, and he's like, hello doctor, and he's trying to like make a chat with it,
Sure.
but like, he's just nodding off. No, just,
Oh,
he
never
or
call
she,
it a doctor.
was it he or she?
These people have done 7 years medical
Deeply
training.
respected people.
How could you call it it?
so anyway, he thought, oh, it's weird he didn't answer, but you know, doctors can be quite moody, you know, they're highly intelligent, they don't need
Especially little airy ones.
well, just idle chit-chat, there's no room for that, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm here to do a job.
Yeah, but you know, if I'm going in to have my eyes done, I want a little bit of idle chimp chat.
So anyway, time passes, right? He sort of wakes up and he opens his eyes, right? And it's brilliant. He can't believe it.
Eyes are perfect.
He's had the op. He can't believe the sight. He's like, nurse, right? And the nurse comes in because I can't believe it. This is brilliant. I've never had this such good sight. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was a baby,
Yeah.
and my eyes were new,
Yeah.
I didn't see this good.
Great.
So she's like, well, you know, that's
You
what,
realise the nurse is a panda.
that's what we do, right? So he said, right, so can I just see the doctor and just say thanks and that? She's like, well, to be honest, you know, he's specialised in what he does. There's a lot of
What a
work.
load of bollocks this is getting.
Please.
Where did you get this from?
No, come on, let's hear the end of the news.
There's a lot of like operations he's got to do.
Yeah.
So you know, leave him to it. He's just having a kip. You know, I'll let him know that you were grateful. You know, pays the check. Off you go. Go and enjoy looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, no, just what's wrong with that? I just want to see that. Just
No,
like,
that's
no,
fine.
leave it. Just leave.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it. If
And
he
he's
says
like,
it's paid the
yeah,
check.
but I can't. You know, I want to thank him. So he's done such a good thing for me. So they're getting into a bit of an argument and what have you, and the voices are raising, right? Door opens.
Gonna wake the doctor up.
Well, that's what they did. They woke it up, right?
They woke it up.
It.
So the door opens, right? Little monkey comes out, and he's like, "What's going on here? It's a hospital. Why is a monkey knocking about?"
Yeah.
So the woman said, "Well, what do you mean? He's the doctor, right?" So he's like, "You are having a laugh, aren't you?" She goes, "Look, don't complain. Your eyes are sorted.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor's done it. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have come here." She said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't know that?" She said, "The advert in the paper you read, it's like chimp doctors."
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. That really is the worst.
What? And because his eyes were so bad, he thought it said cheap doctors.
He saw the advert and it said chimp doctors, but because his eyes were bad, he just saw it.
What
as-
journal is this in?
It was years ago because it sort of says how the monkey sort of carried on working for a few years. He couldn't do anything
Then
about
just
it. He had to
retired to
leave
play
it.
golf.
It's absolute bollocks.
It's
There's
like-
no way. I mean, it's not even worth talking about. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the most ridiculous monkey news we've ever heard, and that's saying something.
Chimp doctors, cheap. It's easy mistake.
On this album as well is The Killing of George. You know, Georgie Part 1 and 2, remember? About the gay bloke. Georgie Boy was gay, I guess. His favourite song. Carl's favourite song,
Yeah.
right?
Brilliant.
And I was going, oh yeah, I remember that, yeah. I said about, and I said, did not intend to take his life, he just pushed it when he gets mugged and killed. Do you know what he said?
Go on.
I was sitting outside, I was singing, he went, well, as I said, they go out too late.
They go out too
Yeah, he meant gay people go out too late. He went, no, they do. I went, what do you mean? He said, well, they're always out, they go out or when people are coming home. He said, if he'd have been in bed by 10, he'd still be alive today.
That's a sobering lesson.
And he went,
Carl.
there's one that works here and he's shattered every Monday.
Oh, if you're gay and you're listening, just be in bed earlier. Go
Yeah.
out when sensible people go out.
Yeah.
You're right, we're not on the continent, Carl, is your point?
If you're gay and you're not in bed by 10, go home.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
First cut is the deepest, Rod Stewart.
Song.
Air, Don't Be Like, XFM, 104.9, 5 to 2.
Absolutely.
Ricky Gervais with me,
Steve
Merchant, Smirch,
Smirch.
the Smirch,
The Smirch.
and the K-Man, KP, Karl Pilkington, the K-Man.
Pressing the buttons.
Yeah. See that in Heat this week?
What was it?
About the campaign to stop Karl going back to Manchester. You know, because he's a miserable sort of northerner who goes, London's crap and I want to go back up north.
Yeah.
And I only need 40 quid a week to live up there like king and all that sort of
Yes.
rubbish. Right, well, Boyd from Heat. Well, we met him at the that award ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
And we were saying about, he really enjoys Carl. He's getting a lot of people like Carl. And I was going, oh yeah, but he's thinking of leaving. He's going, start a campaign. And he did, and he put it in there. So the campaign, so write in if you like Carl. If you think he's really annoying, then we'll stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the White Van Man column in The Sun, Carl?
I've seen it,
Are you familiar with this? This is where every day in The Sun they interview a guy who drives a white van, just, in order to get the kind of voice of the man on the street in the paper. And he has to answer, or just give his opinions, really, on events that have made the news each week. Just thought we could maybe throw some of these at you, Carl.
Go on.
Because we know to see what your views are.
Yeah.
So, just the first thing that comes into your mind, the sort of, your initial reaction to each
It's
of
just
these,
top all things, but you don't need to know about them, it's just your philosophy on it.
yeah,
so,
just your views.
yeah.
I have had a few days off this week, remember, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you stayed in London, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
You didn't bury yourself, did you?
I normally see the news, but I didn't this week.
Okay. So, what was your view on Will Young beating Gareth Gates in the final of Pop Idol?
Don't like him. You know what I was thinking about when I was watching it all the way through?
Yeah.
How he looks like he's got a wire coat hanger in his gob. That sort of...
Right.
Get his radio, Carl.
Radio.
It's a great
The
face.
funny face you're pulling, doesn't
Yeah,
it, frankly?
and, a radio.
And that's a problem for you, is it?
And just the way he's from a really rich family. I opened up the paper on the Monday or something, and it had like, he went to a posh school and he's got loads of money already.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
Key. Right, now, what's the second question?
There have been huge rises in street crime, especially muggings and carjackings. What's your view there?
More youth clubs are needed, aren't there?
You think more youth clubs?
I like that.
No? Okay.
I like that because it's so 1950s.
Yeah,
it's sort of like you want a Bobby on the beat that'll clip you around the ear.
So once they've come out of national service...
Yeah! No, I love that. And if you find someone smoking a wood bomb, you make them smoke 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is great. That is great.
Did you used to go to, youth clubs?
Yeah.
And they kept you out of trouble?
You used to get into a fight afterwards when you came out.
But for the sort of hour and a half you were there?
You had a bit of pool and some boxing and a bit of pop.
Yeah.
So more youth clubs, that's good.
I love him. I love him. If you're at home, just make notes, because this is brilliant stuff. Honestly, you won't hear more honest, from the heart
exactly
stuff than this. This is great. Go on.
This is not pre-planned. These are your direct responses now.
I promise you, Carl did not know what we were going to do. He never knows what we're going to do, and he always answers honestly. That is the beauty of Carl.
What is your
not
view,
an act.
What is your view, Carl, on New York's former mayor becoming Sir Rudy Giuliani? Sir Rudy Giuliani.
Is he happy with it?
He appears to be pleased with it.
Let it go ahead.
Fair enough.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, he's genius.
Okay.
Is he happy with it? He's like your nan.
Yeah. What do you make of Michael Greco's character Beppe being axed from EastEnders? Problem for you?
The whole soap thing. What's it's back in Coronation Street, isn't she? What's her name?
Who? Bet.
Lynn's. She thought she'd go off and be a bigger star.
Yeah.
All went wrong, and now she's coming back.
Yeah. Always happens, doesn't it?
Beppe will be back.
Yeah.
No one really cares.
Sure.
What was the van reply? That was the guy.
The White Van Man says, obviously they feel the character has run his course, but I think he's a pretty good actor and I can't understand why. I mean, obviously there's a White Van Man there who's also got an opinion on script development.
The through line, yeah.
The narrative through line of soap opera.
The 12-week narrative, the arc really showed itself up.
There's two last ones I want your opinion on here. What do you make of a cat that's been cloned in a secret 2.5 million research project?
To find out what?
If they can clone cats, yeah.
Have they had to hurt it?
Sorry?
Have they had to sort of hurt it to do that?
Have they had to hurt it?
Yeah, or is it just scraping its tongue for some stuff?
I think the cat's fine. The point is that they're cloning another creature which is potentially very dangerous. Have you seen that film where they bring Hitler back?
That cat, what if that cat turned out to be a world dictator?
Exactly. What do you reckon of cloning generally, Carl? You concerned about it?
Well, I think they're cloning for organs, they just grow them for the,
Do you know what cloning means?
Yeah, it's when you, like, make something else that's the same, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do any harm.
Okay. And,
great.
And finally...
Put you on the World Council.
Yeah. Finally, what do you make of some city workers who were caught bonking in the glass lifts of the Lloyd's building?
What do I make of it?
Yeah. Is that a problem for you? Do you think that's unprofessional?
Was it the lunch break, or...?
I think it was lunch break.
It was their own...
Alright.
It's their own time, I think, fair enough. It only takes 45 seconds to go from the bottom to the top. Is that a problem? They moved quickly. They acted, on instinct. Do you think fair enough? If that's their natural instincts and they're both consenting, you think fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much, Carl.
Thanks very much, Carl.
Carl, we'll have more of Carl's world-weary opinions next time on the show. Listen, I want to play a track that I love.
I can't wait for this track. It's by a great band. Just gonna do, before Steve does this, coming up, we're gonna give away a great game. I'm sort of clearing out my flat with Tony, and then we've got, a lot of junk there. And, we're gonna give away a great game coming up. You've seen it, Steve, you're excited.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's a board game. It's a board game that we're all gonna sign. It's gonna be signed by Gerv, Smirch, KP the K-Man. So you could win that.
The classic album Copper Blue by Sugar. Listening to it again recently, reminded how good it was.
Yeah.
This is the track Hoover Dam. Play it.
White Stripes. Fell in love with a girl on XFM 104.9. It's 2:10. Right, okay, that's the first hour out of the way. Next hour, Steve, I've got a game to give away. As I say, I'm sort of cleaning out my flat a little bit, and we were going to throw away stuff, and I went to say, oh, whoa, don't throw that away.
Yeah.
I can give that away on the show, because XFM don't give us anything to give away.
No.
Does anyone care what happens weekends?
No.
There's people coming here going, oh, he hasn't turned up, fiddling with stuff, fire alarms going off, the library. But we were looking for a track we played a couple of weeks ago on the same album, and it's gone.
Yeah, it's been pinched since we last played it.
This is I can't believe it, they're moving it, that's like a tip out there, and I have to...
No, it is a disgrace, Carl.
It is. It is absolutely, it's disgusting.
How many of the DJs on this station have won multiple awards like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, how
many of them are double award winning?
To have someone of my caliber. I hurt my ankle, didn't I? Moving a chair. I had to even move my own chair in here, and I hit my ankle. That'll teach me not to wear socks.
Yeah.
The socks would have just taken out the sting.
I think just walking around barefoot generally is a bad idea in London. There's the needles, Rick, there's all sorts
I know, or that, well, Posh does it in her video, she walks around barefoot.
Oh, you love
My
it.
heart's got a mind of its own.
Ricky absolutely loves the current Victoria Beckham.
Yeah, I like the sentiment, my heart's got a mind of its own. It's like, doesn't matter what I'm thinking in my head, my heart says something else. Of course, what we did for last week was change the lyrics.
Just walked around for ages.
Does anyone else do that? Just go, things like, my wife's got a cock of her own. Things like that, and,
seriously, hours of amusement doing that.
just changing it, just say,
my knob's got some balls of its own.
We're doing that for a week. Meant to be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to give away this game, Rick.
Yeah, it's called Donutters, and it's a game for 4 players, or 2 to 4
Have
players.
you ever played it yourself?
We sort of got it for a party, and I watched some people,
Can I try and sell it to punters who may...
Yeah, go on.
Play the part of a crazy donut-loving elephant in this hilarious game of fun and fast action.
Yeah. You put on a little elephant thing, and you have to pull up get up the donuts.
Brilliant. Can you be the first elephant to get all your donuts on your trunk? Be the first one. Sorry, the first one is.
Sorry, this isn't a sex game, by the way. There's no euphemisms there.
Some of this is a bit slightly damaged, the packaging. That's why I couldn't read that.
You're joking?
Yeah, but don't worry, because you're not
anything in
asking
there?
much for this, are you? We'll start at £5. Bear in mind, it'll be signed by double award-winning Ricky Gervais.
No, of course it's free. I don't know, Carl. What was your favourite nursery rhyme when you were growing up?
Didn't really do that much reading as a kid.
You joking?
You surprised me.
You joking?
What's the one with, loads of people in a bed? What's that one?
Oh, there was one in the bed and the little one said roll over. Yeah.
No, because that's not really even got a story to it, is it? That's
But
just...
hold on though, I'll stop you there. It doesn't even say people. It says there was 10 in the bed and the little one, little what? They could be anything. I don't know what they are. Roll over, and they all rolled over and one fell out. There was 9 in the bed and the little one said, roll over.
Now, where is the little one in the
I
bed?
don't know, but worse than that, what has he got over the other 9?
That he can demand they roll out the bed.
And why is no one getting back in?
Yeah, they're just lying on the floor.
We're here now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But how does that end as well? Where's that going?
It goes on, there was one in the bed, and the little one said, again, he just says, presumably he's telling himself roll over.
Yeah.
There was one in the bed, there was a roll over. So he rolled over, and one fell out, that's him.
That's him.
There was none in the bed, and the little one said roll over. So now he's calling the shots, presumably laying on the pile of other...
They're just still rolling around.
I don't know, Carl. We've got to look into this. If anyone knows why Dumpty was an egg, if Hubbard eventually found a dog a bone, and what was the little one doing? What did the little one think he was doing, for God's sake?
When I saw my dad last year, he was telling me about a fella who's got some clothes you can see through. What's that one?
You don't mean the Emperor's New Clothes?
Yeah, what's that one about?
Well, that's a genuinely good little parable, that.
Yeah, because it's now used for, people who are scared to sort of slag something off because it's sort of like really cool and they don't want to be the one that that shouts it, and then one person goes, hold on.
Very,
I've
very
seen
briefly,
through this.
Carl, very briefly, the king wants some new clothes, right? He's the king, he goes, who's gonna make me some new clothes? Various people come to me and says, I don't like that, it's not interesting enough. One guy, who's just a bit of a con artist, he comes along, he goes, I've made you this magic suit, look, and it's nothing. He goes, put it on, the king puts on nothing, because there is nothing, but thinks there's something, because, you know, he wants to buy into it and everything.
And he goes, it's the finest stitching, he goes, look at it, can you see it? No, they have to say, only a genius can see how good this suit is. And the king goes, yeah, it's brilliant, yeah, it's great. And he goes out, and just, is it a woman or a little kid?
Well, everyone's applauding, they're going, you look great, even though his tackle's hanging out, he's, you know, he's nothing.
Even though he's got a king-size, sort of like, bit of meat and two veg, wobbling, dragging down the street.
Exactly. And then one little boy goes, he's not wearing anything!
The king is in the Altogether. Know that one?
So, well, did anyone else buy one? Or was...
Okay, play record.
Play a record, Carl.
Play record.
Carl, just play a song.
Jesus. Travis, writing to reach you on XFM 104.9, alright?
Couple of emails here, trying to respond to our requests for nursery rhyme related information.
Oh, go on.
Nikki Williams says that she was at infant school and she had a nursery rhyme book, and in the book, and this may just be the illustrations, but apparently the 10 in the bed in there were small baby monkeys, which you'll be loving, Carl. But again, I suspect that might just be the illustration.
I remember I had a book of nursery rhymes when I was little, and my brother, who was older than me, I was about 5, so he was about 16. I remember him and his mate just absolutely cracking up, because it said, up Jack got and home did trot as fast as he could caper. He went to bed and bandaged his knob, N-O-B, with vinegar and brown paper. I've since found out the knob is like the old English for head, but I didn't know why they were laughing.
Of course.
They were just cracking up. This was, whenever one of my mate's brothers came around, he got, so where's your nursery rhyme book? And he'd read it to him. Yeah. And it was just the funniest thing in the world.
The brown paper and vinegar was a popular method, because didn't Jack and Jill use that? They used something similar.
No, that was Jack and Jill.
That was Jack and Jill.
Yeah, that's Jack when he broke his crown, which obviously, that means his head as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So he's fractured his skull on a sort of like an outcrop of rock. Yeah. And then,
is that still used, the brown paper and vinegar?
I don't think it is.
I don't know, maybe in Manchester they're still using that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Tracy and John Burton say that they, reckon Humpty Dumpty was actually a cannon that used to sit on the walls of the castle, in Colchester, where they lived.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That would make a lot more sense.
on a wall, had a great fall, because we couldn't put hands together then. So, he had they broke the cannon, or it meant it exploded.
Maybe the cannon fell apart.
Because people used to get blown up by cannons, just doing it wrong, didn't they?
Sure.
Which is hoist by your own petard.
Right.
Where that comes from.
Right.
Coming back and blowing up in your face.
So that makes slightly more sense, because you would want to send for the King's Men then.
Yeah, and the horses.
I think the horses just came along anyway.
That was quicker.
Sure.
The quick King's Men, it took them about 3 minutes, with the horses there in about a minute. So, but I mean, if it blew up, there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
So we got to the bottom of that. See, the educational, Carl. See, this is real education. You know what I mean?
It's got a bit heavy though, doesn't it?
What, Humpty Dumpty? Yeah, it has got a little bit heavy. Let's dumb it down a little bit. What do you want to do? Mary quite contrary?
We're doing Rockbusters in a bit.
Hang on a minute.
What?
Before you even get to Rockbusters, oh, man alive, there are loads more verses to Old Mother Hubbard.
Are there?
I'm gonna digest these while we play the ads, and I'll see if there's any salient information I can give you afterwards.
Brilliant! Delays. Long time coming on XFM 104.9. With Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington for the last time.
XFM 104.9.
Sad.
We've established that Hubbard went to the cupboard, Rick.
Yeah.
Get the dog a bone, the cupboard was empty.
Yeah.
As we all know. And
so the dog didn't have any. End of story, so the dog didn't have any.
Well, no,
wait. Go on,
it turns out there's what appears to be something like 15 other verses.
Not really.
Unbelievable. I'm not gonna go through all of them, Rick.
Right, any information?
Well, basically I can tell you straight away that the dog initially had none.
Yeah.
She went to the baker's to buy him some bread. When she came back, the poor dog was dead. Right, you're pretty upset about that.
Yeah.
She went to the joiner's to buy him a coffin. When she came back, the poor dog was laughing. I don't know what he's up to.
Right.
She took a clean dish to get him some tripe, but when she came back, he was smoking a pipe. I mean...
so the dog was winding her up then at the beginning, being dead.
I mean, he's pushing his luck. But especially if she's already depressed.
But, do you know, if I was that dog, right, and I live with Old Mother Hubbard, right, all that faffing around, I'd be going, I know there's no bones in the cupboard.
Exactly.
Right? What do you mean you're going to get me some bread? I'm a dog.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in bread. Get me some hamburgers.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd start winding her up.
She went to the Hour House to get him some beer. When she came back, the dog sat in a chair.
See, I'd have said the dog had turned queer.
Yeah.
Make it rhyme at least, and also get a little, you know, he's smoking a pipe, he's having a laugh.
I'm beginning to wonder
He's
if...
bent.
I'm beginning to wonder if this is based on fact, though, in any way, because she went to the grocer's to buy him some fruit. When she came back, he was playing the flute.
He's gay.
No, it is the flute, it's not, now this, I didn't even know there was a goat involved. She went
no.
She went to the tailor's to buy him a coat. When she came back, he was riding the goat.
Yeah, there you go. Dirty little, what?
She went to the hatter's to buy him a hat. When she came back, he was feeding the cat. I mean,
I can't believe it. So I'm thinking the pipe's a crack pipe.
Hang on a minute. I think the gay thing's beginning to stand up.
Go on.
She went to the barber's to buy him a wig. When she came back,
he was having a frig.
he was dancing a jig. He's dancing a jig. You're dancing a jig.
He's dancing a jig, smoking a pipe, shagging a goat.
This is a bit of a left field one though. She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes.
Why does he need shoes? I bet they're high heels.
Wait a second though. She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes. When she came back, you're never gonna believe this.
What?
He was reading the news.
Brilliant!
She went to the seamstress to buy him some linen. Again, don't know why. When she came back, the dog was a-spinning.
Yeah.
She went to the hosier's to buy him some hose. When she came back, he was dressed in his clothes.
Why did she want to
This is the big payoff that we've been building to.
Right.
The dame made a curtsy, the dog made a bow, the dame said, "Your servant," the dog said, "Bow wow."
Right.
I mean...
Okay. I'm gonna probably do a few more verses during the next
during
song.
the course of the show?
Yeah.
Listen, before we move on, I should just say that we've had various people saying what was in the bed and what was the final line of the bed thing.
Why do they care?
It's extraordinary, isn't it? We've talked about politics in the past, great music, we played great songs.
Yeah, we've got Monkey News coming up talking about politics.
But Danny's said that apparently it ends with one in the bed, little one said good night.
Because he was all happy, he had the bed to himself, and there's nine of his mates piled on the floor.
Rick, but Ava counters that by saying, actually, one in the bed, the little one said, come back, because he felt lonely. So,
We're never gonna get to
I don't know, Rick.
This is the same as the Kennedy thing. There's loads of different opinions.
Conspiracy theories.
I know, we don't know what's going on. But Jimmy Webb, big go on.
So,
So you're all these Beatles, they're scrolling around, right? You're sort of like watching them, and then you realise that you want to mate with this female Beatle. What do you do? What's your first move?
Yeah, but I don't know what Beatles do I? So I don't know what you do. I don't know if you go up and go, right. What did they do? How did they get on?
Well,
it's a different world. I don't know yet, do I? Because I haven't done it.
Would you feel bad, because having your own mind in this Beatle, right? Would you feel bad shagging a Beatle? Would you feel that was a bit sick, because you've got a human mind?
Well, no, you just close your eyes and that, won't you? Think of something else. So, get round it that way. There's no point getting down about it, because I'm stuck now as a Beatle. So you've got to get on with it.
But if you're a slug, you said you'd throw yourself in the salt pot. What would you do if you were a Beatle if you got depressed? And you see all the other humans. No, you see your mates, right? They're listening to the iPod. What would you do?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, though. Beatles are different, because they do tend to hang about with each other. A slug's always on its own. It's a lonely insect, isn't it?
It's not an insect.
Alright, what is it?
A mollusk.
Right, they're lonely. I've never seen a load of snails all together or slugs wandering about, whereas beetles seem to knock about in crowds.
Yeah.
So, oh God, okay, right, another one.
So they're sociable creatures, and it wouldn't bother you that you've got the mind of Karl Pilkington in there? Because you can't communicate with these people, because they don't speak English, they don't have any communication with you.
Yeah, but if it's happened to me, there'll be another one in there.
Okay then, right, okay, what would you do, right? That's the most disgusting thing. What could it be? Right, what would you do, right, if you were suddenly a fly, right, and you were knocking around with the flies, right, and you had to land on some,
excrement?
Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah, but I don't have to.
What do you mean? You're a fly. You're
yeah, but
loving
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be loving it, though, would I?
Why?
Because I'm me in that fly's head. So I don't think other flies would be going, come on, join in. I'd just be like, no, I'll wait here, wait, watch, and that. Because I don't see why they have to do that.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in a, had to go and put your mind in, like, an unhatched egg,
of something, like maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do, though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens.
I don't believe it, he's written it down!
Well, that's the jingle that signals it's time for more extracts from Carl's diary, and we'll lunge straight into it. Wandered down Carnaby Street. There was a happy homeless fella. I gave him £1.50. I thought of a tongue twister after giving him the money. It goes, if you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
It's good, that.
All
Say
right.
it fast.
If you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
Good, isn't it?
Good, that, yeah. You've got too much time on your hands, Carl.
Learned some famous quotes to see if they are as good as my sayings. Number 1, treat every day as if it's your last. Very famous saying. Now, is that something you do, Carl?
But you know, me problem with that one is that if it was your last, you wouldn't want to be doing much. That's the only problem I've got with that. I wouldn't want to, you know, go to a fairground or whatever because you're going to know it's my last day. What am I going to do? And I think you'd spend so much time worrying about what you're going to do that you'd end up staying in.
I think you're right. You've taken some of the poetry out of it. I think it means live life to the fullest, right?
I like the fact that you were musing on the idea that if it was your last day, you'd go to the fair. It's getting such a 19th century way of spending your final day.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, the other thing is that the only thing that people get depressed about in terms of sort of like you know, life and death is not the knowledge that they're gonna die, but more the knowledge that they know they're gonna die when they're dying. If someone told you, no one ever knows when they're gonna die, no one ever gets an illness, no one ever gets hit by a truck, everyone passes away peacefully in their sleep, dreaming they're riding a big marshmallow, right? Then you wouldn't care about anything. It wouldn't matter when. It wouldn't matter if you died tomorrow or in 30 years' time. You'd just live life to the full. You'd have it every day would be great. You'd go out, you'd come back, you'd fall asleep. That would be amazing. There'd be no stress. There'd be no angsty, we're all gonna die stress, because it wouldn't matter, because it would just be your life. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone guaranteed you, Carl, you're gonna die in your sleep? I'm not gonna tell you when.
Yeah, but some people do, don't they?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
but we never know
that.
we're going to, because we stress. What if we get a dreadful illness? What if we, you know...
But we're almost not letting people die naturally anymore, are we? Because we're always bodging stuff up.
What do you mean?
Well, someone who might naturally die in the sleep aren't allowed to naturally die in the sleep because they wake them up with those electric things and get them going again and pop in a new lung or whatever whilst they're at it. That's what I'm saying. They don't just... You never hear it anymore, do you? Frank peacefully died in his sleep. No, he died on the operating table whilst we were putting in a new lung. They don't die naturally anymore.
Frank died peacefully with 40,000 volts going through them and a couple of people going, clear! Clear!
Rushing about today. Got to get a lot done as I'm flying to Malaga tomorrow to see my mum and dad. Don't like flying. I'd be happy if they give you a parachute instead of a life jacket. They say Da Vinci invented the parachute as well as the helicopter. He never got round to making them though because he only drew them on some paper. Got up at 5 AM as I had to get to Heathrow to get on the plane to see mum and dad in Malaga. Went out for a drink with a cousin who lives in Spain. Ain't seen her for 27 years. Oh, that must have been tricky, making conversation.
I didn't really bother. Because where do you start? I might as well go up to anyone in the street and start having a chat.
Yeah, you have to get further back than... did you want Chantal to win Big Brother?
Yeah. Me dad and me talked about history. I said we shouldn't go on about things that happened ages ago because I bet something similar has happened more recently.
Brilliant.
Read about an island in the Indian Ocean where there are tribesmen still living like they're cavemen. A helicopter tried to land and the tribesmen chucked spears at them. This is what I meant about not having to talk about things that happened ages ago. We have got new cavemen now, so why do we talk about the old ones? People could have lived before, but computers and all that blew up and books got burnt, so all they had left was what these tribesmen have got left.
Ramblings
And that's
of
the
a
ramblings
madman.
of a maniac.
That is
that's just a few hours before you go crazy with a gun in there.
No, but what I mean there is, right, say if all this has happened before, something happens,
Again, a lot of information from the Planet of the Apes.
world ends, right, we come back again somehow.
Yeah. It's the detail you leave out that makes you intriguing. Just like the watch that you can wear that tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Pop it on your wrist. That's all the detail you need. So the world happened.
No.
We came back.
Have you seen the pictures? Forget it then if you don't get it.
It's interesting that you had all those profound thoughts about this period into the past when they all lived, but you still found it appropriate to include at the end of that. It says the tribesmen wave their knobs about when they've had enough of having visitors.
That's what it said in the paper. That's what happens. They're quite happy.
What paper is this that you're reading?
It was in like a paper a couple of days ago. It said they don't mind having visitors if they're bringing them coconuts and stuff that they can eat. Once they've got everything they need, they start waving the tackle about, and that means like, right, leave now, which you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at a dinner party.
My grandfather used to do that.
Chimpanzee that monkey news!
That jingle is getting more annoyed by the week.
Well, this is the final monkey news, right? I'm not doing this anymore, right? Because we've covered it all.
All the monkey news has been covered?
It has. We've done loads of them. I think all the news that needs to be sort of known has been told, right?
That is the end of the news. Jesus Christ.
What?
Get on with it.
Right, do you know we chatted about the monkey that went into space and stuff?
This was the one that was fed by bananas that came out of a little chute on the spacecraft.
Yeah, it went up there. He came back. He could never get that
The high
high
exactly,
again.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He tried other things. I think he tried to get a band together and that. Right. So anyway, there was loads of monkeys that were signed up to this NASA program, and it was 1961 when this little monkey called Ham, that was his name, as well as him, there was one called Enos. So anyway, what I found out about it since then, Ham went up there, did the left-right business with the bananas. Enos, they didn't put as much work into the trip when he went up there, and something went wrong with the machinery. And do you know how you get a banana for the left button and all that?
It's official now. There's 2 buttons in this spaceship. Banana dispenser and everything else. The right button is everything else.
But it worked the other way. The machinery went weird.
Oh no, really?
So it meant that the right button would give him a banana.
Right.
The left button did everything else.
Oh no.
How does
So
that, how
what,
does
so
that
what
happen,
had been
though?
taught? This is the problem with electronics, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think
No,
that
this,
is. I don't
apparently
think
this is the problem.
But the good I mean, honestly, look it up if you want. This is all online, by the
So
way.
what happened when it all went haywire? What occurred?
Luckily-
Carl, this is online and it's bollocks.
Luckily, Enos, because he'd done a few trips,
Right,
so he was like,
experienced.
well, I know this isn't right. As much as I love bananas, this isn't right.
That was his thinking, of course it was.
So anyway, so he came back. They were all like over the moon with him.
He
you
said,
know,
I
think,
can't work with these conditions.
good mission and everything. Well done on working it out. He sorted all that out. It moved on a few years. Armstrong's gone up there. Buzz and that other fella, they've been up there. The monkeys aren't needed anymore. But they were like, we've got all these monkeys who have done NASA training. What are we going to do with them all? And they had to raise £14 million to make them like an old sort of chimp home for retired
Retired NASA-trained monkeys.
Chimpanauts.
Something they've got in there is like a little museum, right, of all the missions and that they've been on, so they can sort of, even though they're not going to be going into space again, they can almost relive it and reminisce of the times that they've had. And
They're reminiscing with each other, are they?
just sort of going,
Chatting
oh,
about the
remember
old
that
times.
time when it all went wrong, the button became the left when it should have
Yeah.
been the right and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. They just, you know, sort of
about old times,
talking
yeah.
about old times and what have you, like old people like to do.
Sure.
And yeah, that's it. So if you want,
Perhaps we should retire monkey news to that same place.
that's what I mean. So, you know, I hope you've enjoyed the monkey news and that. That was the last one. Look after the monkeys. Do your bit, because they've done their bit. That's it, yeah. But just because I'm not giving the news, look it up. Do you know what I mean? It's all out there. Don't be ignorant.
Wise words.
100 reasons. If I could.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Pop Will Eat Itself?
Carl, have you got like a sound effect or something of like, get the atmosphere
Cheering.
we're gonna test?
Cheering. We'll seek it out with.
Have you got something there? Have a look on there. I'm just looking in the NME, for the kind of forthcoming gigs of the smaller known bands, and, it might be a useful place to, just begin the,
Ladies and gentlemen, peoples around the world, will you please welcome to the stage, Chumba Awamba!
Have you got a sound effect? Have you got one? Nice, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage the Parkinsons?
Playing in Leicester this week, so I look forward to
That's
that.
a good plug, isn't it?
Let me see who else.
If anyone wants to pop down to Leicester to see the Parkinsons.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Cyclefly.
Okay.
Oh, there's a genuine one here. This is someone. Simon's emailed and he says, "Will you just test this name for us, Carl? If you can, there you go."
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Coach?
Not utterly convinced.
No,
it's not too
I know.
bad. It's not.
I'm worried about the sound effect. We start to sound like Chris Moyles or something. When you play a sound
He's a
effect.
top broadcaster. Everyone loves him.
Losing weight as well.
He is hilarious. funny man. Just there's one more coming here. I'll just check this one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome, this is Chris in Oxford, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, meanwhile back in communist Russia.
Is that a band?
I assume so.
I assume it's his band.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Well, how does he listen to us in, hold on, no, this is only local radio. How does he listen to us in Oxford?
Well, if only there was some kind of digital format that he could listen via the web net.
What is it?
What is
Can do
the?
that.
What is it?
What?
How does he listen in Oxford?
You can listen on Sky Digital,
Go on.
channel 864,
Lovely.
864. Yeah.
and on the
internet?
web,
Yeah.
Okay. What would that web address be?
xfm.co.uk.
Sure.
Click on the audio,
Yep.
and you get XFM 10 seconds behind it actually happened.
Perfect.
Just out of interest, what's the point of saying that if they can't sort of get us in London to listen to that because they won't be, and they're either in London, so they won't go through this nonsense, or they're in Leicester, and they can't hear us saying Sky
Yeah,
Digital.
we haven't thought that through at all.
And
Because you might work in London for a bit, and then have a
go back and spread the word.
and like leave,
Go back and spread the word. Disciples.
move back to Leicester,
Yeah.
tell your mates.
Yeah. Soon,
any number of combinations.
soon XFM is the most listened to radio station in Britain.
Yeah.
What we need is people on Radio 2 to give it a plug every day.
That'd be ideal.
Yeah, or Radio 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the big rivals. Virgin.
Yeah.
I mean, we've often plugged Virgin. It's a good station.
105.8 Virgin Radio London.
Great station. Really good station.
Hard 106.2.
Lovely.
You're listening to Magic 105.4.
Are you getting quite a lot of voiceover work now, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
That's not.
I've stopped all that though.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. It's
You know.
good.
Well, I'm all right now. I've got a bit of money.
Classic 60s bands. I've just suddenly.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage the Scaffold?
Oh, the Scaffold. You
remember the Scaffold, Carl?
You picked the lead singer looks a bit like him, but you know his brother that is in the Scaffold, don't you? Mike McGear. Do you know his brother that is?
What?
Do you remember the Scaffold? They did.
Yeah, I remember
We'll
the
drink a drink, the lily, the pink, the
And
pink,
didn't
the
they
pink,
do
the
that
pink.
with
Oh,
the Roses
human
advert as well?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the entry, Ian. Do you know his brother that is?
Whose brother? The lead singer?
No, the Mike McGear in it. The sort of one of the main men in it.
He's one of the songwriters in
Yeah.
the
No, I don't.
Scaffold.
Paul McCartney.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. That's Paul McCartney's brother. Think of that when they go home for Christmas. So I think Lily the Pink was what, about 1970?
Yeah. It was number one, wasn't it? Christmas number one.
Yeah, big number one, yeah. I don't know if it was Christmas number one. Two Little Boys was 1969, last
No, it definitely was number one.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was
The Scaffold
Christmas
was.
number
It
one.
was, because I remember I did it in some
Really?
place, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they go home at Christmas and Mrs. McCartney goes, alright boys, how are you, Paul, how are you doing? I'm just starting a new band called Wings. Yeah, oh yeah, so this is Linda. Alright, yeah, sit down. Mike, what are you doing? Just had number one. Brilliant, round of applause. How many number ones do you have, Paul? 19. Still. We know what we like, don't we?
We'll drink a drink, the lily, the pink, the pink, the pink, oh, the human race.
Paul goes, wow, if you want to. The long and winding.
Boring. We'll
Oh,
drink a drink,
wow.
the lily, the pink. Linda, do you want to be in the Scaffold? We're probably going to go on tour and stuff. I know you love it. Well, I quite like it. Yeah. We'll drink a drink, the lily, the pink.
Well, you're not going to be in Wings if you're going to play with him.
Well, I got make a tricky decision. I mean, that's a great song.
What are you
Everyone's
doing-
loving it. It's Christmas number
What are
one.
you doing eating his bacon?
Well, I love
you
it.
You don't eat bacon.
Yeah, but I love the music. He's a great
Stop
guy.
it. What are you doing?
Well, I just, I love the music. We'll
can't
drink a
believe
drink, the
it.
lily, the pink, the pink.
No.
No, you don't.
Yesterday, All my troubles seem so...
Thank you very much for that.
Adrian!
Oh, imagine that, because imagine that even going, well, you've had 19 number ones. I mean, you know, it can be out of time. Yeah, if you stay like this with a scaffold, I'm gonna rule the 70s.
Yeah, if things that carry on going like they're going now, the scaffold, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome
to the stage, Beck.
Oh, nice one. Dandy Warhols. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dandy Warhol.
There you are, it's never gonna
That
answer.
sounds like Levellers crossed with Wonder Stuff.
Rubbish, isn't it, really? I mean,
Well,
you know, it's fine, it's chirpy.
It's a nice old song, but it's you know, it's not...
It's that thing of it's just not essential. You
I can't
just
love
don't
it.
really need it in your life. If it never occurred, you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what Carl just said?
Go on.
Were you listening?
Not really.
He looked out the window, and he looked at me, and he was looking at me, and I looked over at him, and he said, see, now's that would be good to die now. What? He went, that weather, that would be good to die. And I said, of what? He went, old age.
Yeah.
What's going on up there?
He's a philosopher, Rick.
He is,
He's
isn't
on
he?
a different
No,
plane
you
to
can't
us.
say like that. The other week, I came in when it was really miserable, and I said to you, God, can you imagine dying today?
Yeah.
Because
Whereas today you feel it would be a much better day to die because it's bright.
the curtains open, sun
Sure.
shining. It's like...
I mean, you'd still be a bit angsty about the dying thing, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't suppose that would be alleviated.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll still be broadcasting, you know, when one of us reaches that happy moment, and we can check.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of emails, Rick, coming in about, band names. I think a lot of people are going wrong for a simple reason. They think it's funny to have an ironic band name.
Yeah.
They think it's a bit comical, and I just don't think there's any great bands that have had a comical name that have made it into stadium filling.
What was that band? Where's Me Jumper? What were they
I
called?
don't know what they were called. I mean, the obvious example of one that was never going to make it internationally.
Splodgeness Abounds? Splodgeness Abounds?
No.
I like them, though.
Splodgeness Abounds.
Splodgeness Abounds, they were great.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Carter the Unstoppable Sex Machine.
USM.
These are some of the ones we've had emailed in. These are bands, obviously, that haven't made it so far, and I don't think they will. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, the Lazy Birds. Nope. Ladies and
No.
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, the Paperclips.
That's not a real band,
That's what
is it?
someone sent in.
I don't know, yeah, but no band name is weirder than the others, and also you grow into it. I mean, the Stones and the Beatles are iconic because they are iconic bands.
What you think you'll grow into? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shuttle Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Treehouse Casino. I don't think they're gonna...
That's just made up!
Well, possibly.
Well, they all are,
But they all
obviously.
are. But my point is, people say there's
Yeah.
no logic to band names, but if you think a band name like the Smiths,
Great.
that's genius.
It is,
It
yeah.
sums up everything that band is about,
Yeah.
you know, the kind of... They're capturing that mediocre world of grim up northness, you know.
My favourite, Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth is genius.
Nirvana.
These are incredible band names, so
Yeah.
there is some logic to it.
Yeah.
I genuinely
Sonic
believe. It's not just arbitrary words.
What about
The
Madness?
Cure. The Cure.
Madness sounds rubbish, but they're good, aren't they?
Yeah, but again, they were never gonna be world beaters.
But they were a comical band, essentially.
Yeah,
they
they
were
were,
a
but
knees-up party band,
yeah.
and Madness is fine for that.
But they had some great songs as well, and but it did. Then it sort of turned it all because then.
I mean, Rick, I don't know how many members...
Not Home Today is a great song, man.
This
Serious.
is from an email. I don't know how many members of the band there are in Chimney Factory, but if there's 5 people, who decided? Have they all agreed? Yeah, that's the best name
Do you know
we
what
can come
I
up with.
decided? Dell.
Right.
Well, he started the band and they rehearsed around his house. So Dale went, look, it's called Chimney Factory because my granny's doing it. They go, all right, Dale, but it's not. I've got some other. But no,
Yeah.
it's called Chimney Factory.
I own the van and the amps.
There's Paperclips gone. There's a band in Leicester called Paperclips. We can't, we just argue over that forever.
And just all I'm saying is think before you name your band, all right? Because it's never going to happen if you've got a comical band name.
There was a feminist band called Clitoris All Sorts, which is quite good, isn't
Yeah, but
it?
you laugh and then you just think, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I'm never going to have that on my T-shirt. Imagine that, clitoris all sorts.
It's that time of the day now, talking of that.
Yep.
Song for the Lovers.
Sure, it's beautiful.
Now, Steve, I mean, I will play great old tunes till the cows come home. We got to give them a little bit of Dandy Warhols and Air and Athlete. I know that, and they're great, they're good, right? But, I wanted to play a Cat Stevens song, but I thought I'd better not, because I've, play that a little bit. And we quite like resurrecting old reputations, don't we? People like Elton John who had bad faces, or David Bowie.
People
and,
whose names now are largely laughed at in the serious rock
or people
circles.
that people might not have considered. I thought Cat Stevens, oh no, Rod Stewart, I thought.
Was he Rod Stewart? Many people now are thinking of the leopard hot pants and the ludicrous
Do you
hair.
think
They're
I'm
thinking,
sexy and all those sort of awful stadium sort of disco things, but he wrote beautiful tracks from Maggie May and I thought, hold on, 2 birds with 1 stone. What about a Rod Stewart song Written by Cat Stevens.
Wow. Is there such a thing?
The first cut is the deepest.
Let's hear it.